below Uganda. That's where Australia's economy ranks. Below Uganda, Armenia, Honduras, Malawi, Kazakhstan. Yep, they're above us. We are below them. This will blow your mind. Let's take a look. Let me introduce you to something called the Economic Complexity Rankings. These rankings assess the current state of a country's productive knowledge through the Economic Complexity Index. Countries improve by increasing the number of complexity of the products they successfully export. So if your economy exports products that take a lot of advanced manufacturing, a lot of expertise and skill in order to create and then export, you would have a highly complex economy. Japan would be the example of one of the world's most complex economies. The stuff they export, high-tech stuff, microchips, very complex. Something really simple would be, I don't know, digging something out of the ground and then just selling it. Sound like a familiar economy? You're right. That's our economy. And if I use the analogy of sport, you could be playing cricket in the cul-de-sac out the front with a wheelie bin and a fence post and a tennis ball. That'd be a very simple economy. It's a bit of a game. It functions. That's it. And then you could go to the F1. You got data analysts, team mechanics, so many different types of engineers to get this sport to happen. That would be a complex economy. So is Australia an F1 team? Or are we just playing backyard cricket with no shoes on the pavement? Let's take a look at where we're ranked. So here it is. Number 1, Japan. I was right. Switzerland. These are very advanced. This is F1. These are F1 teams, right? Down we go. Germany, of course. Slovenia, Hungary, Sweden, Slovakia, Ireland. Oh, surely we got to hear Australia soon. United States. So now we're getting from like F1 to NASCAR maybe. Still pretty complex sport, but you just turn in one way. That's definitely where America sits. Finland, Italy. Man, Italy's got a complex economy. I guess they make some high-value products. I don't know. Mexico. Well, I guess a few Tesla factories are in Mexico. I wonder if that ups their economic complexity, if that counts. I don't know. I'm just taking a look. I'm just trying to get my head around this stuff. Poland, up there. Estonia, Malaysia. Okay, we are still scrolling. I'm at 35. Portugal, Latvia, Serbia, Turkey, Canada. Oh, Canada, 41. Not so good Canada. Just above India. Bahrain, Norway. Ooh, lower than I thought, but Norway, bit of a petro state like Australia. But they're at 44, so let's say that's the benchmark where we would want to be. Tunisia, Cyprus, Lebanon, Greece. This is getting concerning now. New Zealand. If New Zealand's beating us in anything, that is not good. 52 is New Zealand. Russia, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Dominican Republic, Georgia, El Salvador, Vietnam. Come on. Indonesia. Where is Australia? Egypt, South Africa, Oman, Brazil, Uzbekistan. We're at 74. Argentina, Guatemala, Albania, Sri Lanka, Chile, Jamaica, Kenya. We're hitting African nations now. Morocco, Qatar. Well, that's a petro state. We can't be far off Qatar. Cambodia, Paraguay, Kazakhstan, Malawi, Honduras, Armenia, Uganda, Australia. There we are, ranked 93 on economic complexity. Now, hey, we're Aussies. Is this a problem? I don't know. She'll be right, mate. Is this a bad thing or a good thing? I don't think it's a good thing. Let's take a look. Australia has slid 12 positions in the last 10 years. We are not doing well. We were 55th in 1995. And now we are 90 whatever. Now, is this a bad thing? Should be right, mate. Who cares? Who cares? Your kids might care. Is it a bad thing? Jeepers, out of 133 countries, we are 93. That is back of the pack. That is just the kid walking the cross country and didn't even jog for 5 minutes of it. 93rd. And what makes it so bad is that we have a lot of money per GDP compared to all these other countries. And they've got more complex economies, making more complex products and exporting them than we are. Australia has continued to fall in the ECI rankings, is completely predictable. Damn it. If this is to change, then we must focus on transitioning away from a luck-based economy. You mean a she'll-be-right-based economy? That sounds like the one we've got. To becoming smarter if we are to protect our high standards of living and prosperity into the future. This is not good. That's the Managing Director of Advanced Manufacturing and Growth. It seems as if our living standards are kind of tethered to our capacity to compete in a global sphere to provide products of value to the world around us. Right now, we're just like, we got some stuff in the ground over here, and you want that? And they're like, yeah, we do. But what happens when we run out of that? I would hope that Australia has a game plan looking into the future. What's going to happen when we run out of stuff to dig, or if the world transitions away from some of our dirty fossil fuels? What might happen in that scenario? We could be left high and dry. Yeah, the indictment from this bloke gets worse. There is no excuse for Australia's poor ECI rankings, and our continued decline shows Australia's luck is on borrowed time. Ruh-roh. We have the human capital, abundant resources, and capable yet subscale manufacturers. Okay. I wonder what's stopping us then. We must invest now while the times are good to ensure that we have a robust manufacturing industry making high value, high complex items the world needs to weather future bad times to give our children meaningful and resilient jobs. So as far as I understand it, if we have a simple economy, simple economies generally manufacture basic goods like clothing that can be easily competed with by some other country that can have more low-skilled labor. And if there's lots of low-skilled labor around, anyone can do it. And then they exploit people, and someone will always do it cheaper, someone will always do it for less. And even if you're doing those jobs, you don't want to be doing those jobs. What lucky countries like us did, we go, well, let's educate people. Let's have a really smart population. Let's have a population that invents things, that creates new things, and that gives us jobs that are in offices, standing up, walking around, working with advanced machinery in science labs and jobs that require years of training, specialization, and expertise. These are coincidentally the highest paying jobs. Countries around the world pay a lot for stuff like microchips because they're so necessary. And so in the future, once we stop digging stuff and riding the luck economy, the should we ride economy, what kind of jobs will we have left for our children? It doesn't look like we're planning for the future, does it? No, no, it does not. I noted on this list, up at 44 was Norway. Now, Norway, kind of a petro state as well, and I've mentioned this before. Norway taxes its resources because they know they are finite. The natural resources are finite, so they tax them at 78%. They take that money and they put it into a fund which has turned out to be the world's largest sovereign wealth fund. And this is a small country, small population. And so this title here, Norway Wealth Fund CEO warns days of high returns are over. Well, the world's top wealth fund returned 14.5%. That is a great return. So whatever the return they're getting on that money, they're taking their petrochemicals, they're turning it into money, they're putting it in an account that is for all Norwegian citizens, and then they're investing all over the world. So when that oil runs out, they've got money to invest in their population and in manufacture to create new industries, to do new things, to give new jobs to their population so that they don't end up like a failed state that once it runs out of its resources, everyone's left in poverty. And I can't help but think that that's the direction Australia's heading looking at this data here. What can we do to change this? Well, Innovation Oz says R&D expenditure as proportion of GDP. Maybe we should invest in research and development. Are we doing that? Turns out, no, it's fallen over the last decade. So when governments say, we can't afford to invest in science, we can't afford to invest in universities, what they're doing is burning your children's future jobs. Because if we invent something here, we've invented a few things. Wi-Fi, I hear, was an Australian invention. Those things can return billions of dollars back to the country. But if we stop investing in that, then we won't be inventing things into the future. And it takes a long time and a lot of money of investment up front. The returns are worth it in the long run, but you have to be patient and you have to invest. And what governments have done have gone, we just want a surplus, budget surplus. And they just cut funding from things like R&D, which is your children's future. And if you're a millennial Gen Z, it's your future. They've just been cutting funding from your future. Public sector expenditure has fallen, while tertiary sector expenditure fell from 0.63 to 0.61. So that is not a good trend. And business expenditure also dropped. Not good news. I'm no macroeconomist. I don't know exactly what these numbers are talking about, but I'm looking at this and I'm going, this is not good. But there is maybe a ray of light, maybe a little crack in the dark cave. We can see it coming through. Maybe there is a little bit of little bit of ray of sunshine coming through. Let's take a look at old mate Albo. What is he doing? Is he going to fix this? Is he going to turn this around? Well, fact checks welcome, citations necessary. This whole future made in Australia thing could actually be a tiny little baby step toward trying to solve for this problem, toward trying to invest in Australia's future. We can see where the global economy is shifting, moving to sort of lots of cheap energy. And Albo seems to have seen the opportunity that Australia has, once again, lucked into it. Just, well, there it is. Lots of space, lots of wind, lots of sun, lots of things. We could have the world's cheapest energy. And then we could take this energy and we could manufacture things with it and add value. So what's our competitive advantage? It looks as if this future made in Australia, as it's looking at creating green hydrogen and investing in processing critical minerals so that we don't just dig it, ship it to China, they process it, then we buy it back. We can dig it, use our cheap energy to process it here and then sell it competitively on the world stage, or hopefully invest in creating something even more sophisticated. So this could be the necessary first little steps towards ensuring Australia's economy doesn't just completely collapse once we run out of stuff that we're digging. Tell me what you reckon. To me, anyone that says the government investing in stuff, the government investing in creating industries in Australia is a waste of money and it's dumb, I would say that person isn't thinking of the future, because that's what every other advanced economy does. You look at what America's doing. Biden just dropped billions to trying to manufacture microchips and things like that. And what that does is that shows private business, this is the direction the country is going. There's going to be infrastructure built here. So if you want to invest in this technology, you should come here, and then you become an invaluable part of the world. So I didn't know how bad Australia's economy actually was. I didn't know how stupid we were being, and I didn't know we were selling out the future of the next generation just to save a quick penny now. So feel free to share this with someone who you think might not know any of this stuff. Massive thanks to We the Punters over on Patreon. You can head over there if you want to show your support. I've just launched a podcast. Check that out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, punts.